Imagine someone who remembers everything, every leaf pattern, every cloud formation, every word they ever read, no forgetting, no filtering, no abstraction, every single detail intact. That's the world of Ireneo Funes, a character in Borges' story, Funes the Memories. He suffers a fall, gets injured, and suddenly acquires perfect memory. But that gift becomes a curse. Because while he remembers every detail, he cannot generalize, cannot categorize, cannot simplify. His mind is overwhelmed by particulars. This story introduces one of Borges' central themes, infinity and what it means when memory, knowledge, or possibility seem limitless. Borges imagines the Library of Babel, a universal universe in the form of a library containing every possible book, every combination of letters, every idea, every possible variation of knowledge, real and imaginary. In that infinite space, meaning becomes difficult to find. If everything exists, then what matters? Which book matters? Another example is the Book of Sand, a book with infinite breadth. Turn the page and more appear behind as more are revealed before. It has no beginning, no end. You cannot catalog it. This works as what happens when knowledge becomes infinite, when every possibility exists. Do our usual ways of finding meaning, purpose, or truth still work? Borges plays with time. Sometimes time is linear, sometimes cyclical, sometimes compressed. He asks, is time a labyrinth with many forking paths, or is each moment all there is? In Funes, since everything is remembered, time seems collapsed. Every moment is preserved perfectly, so the past is always present. The distinctions between times blur. Borges used metaphor and magical realism to explore these ideas. Not as fantasy, but as philosophical tools. They let us see what happens when human condition face infinity, both its possibilities and its limitation. Borges doesn't portray infinity as purely beautiful or desirable. It has a cost. Fumes, for example, becomes almost paralyzed because his perfect memory prevents him from abstraction. He can generalize, he is trapped in details, right? The infinite library might contain perfect knowledge but also misinformation, endless meaningless noise. If you have to sift through infinite text, finding something valuable becomes exhausting, if not impossible. So Borges suggests that while infinite possibility is fascinating, it demands boundaries, selection, forgetting. Without forgetting or ignoring some details, one cannot live well. So, what does this mean for ours today? In a world of abundant information, social media, the internet, streaming content, are we facing our own library of Babel? We have almost limitless access to facts, opinions, image. How do we choose what we consume, what we remember, what we let go? Also, in our minds, is remembering everything always good? Sometimes forgetting or abstraction help us make decisions, be creative, have peace. In work, study, art, we often need to let go of details. We pick themes, metaphors, frameworks. That's what allows us to speak, to write, to think meaningfully. To conclude, Ilan Stavans' presentation of Borges' fiction shows us that infinity is not just a science or math idea. It's a philosophical condition. Borges invites us to consider what happens when memory is limitless, when knowledge is endless, when time loops are false. Infinity challenges us, it compels us to pick, to forget, to focus. And in that selection lies what it means to be human. So maybe instead of trying to know everything, embracing our limits, or forgetting our choice might be where meaning life. Thank you and bye bye.